Hi guys, it's a little underscore Poppy J here. Today I am reading a little story from my best artist, David Williams, called The Demon Dentist. And it's so good so far. So yeah, and he's my favorite artist and illustrated by Tony Ross. And also for my birthday he sent me this birthday card and his autograph and a picture of him saying to Poppy with love, David Williams kiss. And yes, and give a massive shout out to my mum. She is a key worker and she is going through a hard time lately because she's working all day through this COVID-19. So yes, let's hop right into it. So guys, I will tell you a little bit about the story. So it's this boy called Alfie, and he has really bad teeth, and his dad, he's going through a hard time because he's in a wheelchair and his breathing is hard. So yeah, and they are poor now because Alfie's dad is so poor that he doesn't have any money left, don't have any food left. But then Raj comes in and he is a owner of a shop, and it's this demon dentist called Mrs. Roots, and she went into Alfie's school and she made the children call her mummy, which is weird kind of. And then now Alfie is in this antique in Mrs. Root's office, but then Mrs. Root put Alfie to sleep to take all his teeth out, which is mad really. And now they're gonna get they've got Raj's wife teeth, fake teeth in, so it looks like to his dad that he's got his real teeth in. So yes, so I'm going to read this chapter to you. Right, let me just find the page. Can't find the page. Alright, here we go. So it's chapter 26, Thick Brown Slime. Fantastical tales were Dad's speciality. However, this one he struggled to believe. With some prompting from Raj, Alfie told his dad the whole story. The dentist's visit to school, the special mummy's toothpaste that burned through stone, being chased, the tooth snatching happening every night, being chased by the entire town, and finally having all his teeth taken out. Dad's disbelief turned to anger when Alfie took out the false teeth and held them up to the candlelight. When I get my hands on this dentist, shouted Dad, before he was plunged into a coughing and spluttering fit. Holding his dad, Alfie declared, "This is why I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to upset you." Alfie's father looked deep into his son's eyes. "I am more upset you didn't tell me, son. We're a team, aren't we? You and me?" Alfie nodded. He was afraid his voice would crack with emotion if he spoke. "You're my pup, my little pup," continued Dad, "and I would do anything for my little pup. I would die for you if I had to." A tear welled in Alfie's eye. Even Raj was bubbling, and he had a big old blow of his nose on his sleeve. Soon the purr had held Dad into his chair, and he wheeled himself into the next room to inspect the final and most gruesome piece of the puzzle, the eyeball. Also, guys, I forgot to tell you, they found an eyeball. They found live things under the pillows, and instead of two furry money, they found in dead slugs and all eyeballs, and they found an eyeball nose. Thankfully, by now it had stopped twitching and wiggling. However, it had left a trail of thick brown slime all over the sheet where it had travelled. The three faces peered in and inspected it by candlelight. "The strangest thing is, began Alfie, "I swear I was awake all night. So how could the tooth have been twitched with this without me knowing?" Dad thought long and hard before replying. "You must have nodded off at some point, son." "No," said the boy. "Alfie was absolutely sure I didn't, and I kept checking under the pillow all night. In fact, I checked just before Raj came in, and it was still there." You shut the window behind me," added Raj. Just after that freezing gust of wind, Alfie thought aloud. "Yes," agreed Raj. He inspected the window and shook. It's still locked." Then all three fell deadly silent. Out of the gloom, Dad whispered, "Then whoever or whatever did this must be in the bungalow." No one moved a muscle. "In fact, it could still be in this room," he whispered. The three sets of eyes stirred around in the dark. It was true. Where could it be hiding? The room was cramped. There was only a couple of pieces of furniture. It was not an ideal for a game or of hide and seek. With his eyes, Dad indicated the old wooden wardrobe standing in the corner of the room. Alfie started to tiptoe over to it. Holding the candle, his body weight landed on the loose floorboard and it creaked loudly. Dad put his finger up to his lips and Alfie rebalanced. He had his hand on the wardrobe. His weight clicked quickly. With two silent footsteps, he had his hand on the wardrobe door. Dad nodded his head gently to indicate that his son should open it. The suspense was too much for Raj, who was already cowering behind Dad's wheelchair and had now closed his eyes. The boy pulled the handle sharply. Something flew towards him. His anorak, the sleeve, must have been caught in the door. After taking a breath, Alfie pushed his few items of clothing aside, but there was nothing evil lurking in the cupboard aside from an old or unwashed football sock. That is, it had been lying there so long it had yellow and green mould on it. Throughout, Raj's eyes remained tightly shut, his face grimacing in fear. Dad tugged at the newsagent's arm and he startled like a wild horse, leaping into the air as his whole body contorted in a fight. "Ag!" He neighed. "Shh! Shush, Dad." And with his eyes he pointed to the bed. Raj pointed to himself and assumed an expression which said, "Me?" Dad nodded with the expression which said, "Yes, you." The newsagent shook his head. He put his hands together in prayer, begging Dad for it not to have to be him. Alfie rolled his eyes. He stepped forward and gently pushed the cow Ardley newsagent aside. Pulling up the sheet, Alfie bent down with the candle in his hand to look underneath the bed. It was dark under there, and even the candlelight he squirted as he tried to make anything out of his in the shadows. Like most boys, Alfie never bothered to clean under his bed, so there were long forgotten pieces of Lego and a pair of dirty old underpants littering there. All looked ghostly grey, smothered in a thick covering of dust. Alfie sighed. Again, there seemed to be nothing evil hiding there. Then, under the bed, out of the darkness, 2 eyes opened and fixed the boy with a deathly black stare. "Ah!" cried Alfie. The owner of those eyes then blew Alfie's candle out. Now the room was all but pitch black. A shadowy figure rose from under the bed without stopping to unlock the window. It flew straight through it with a deafening roar. It moved at such speed that shards of smashed glass exploded out of the room. Alfie hurried to the window frame. He needed to catch a glimpse of whoever or whatever had been hiding under his bed. The boy looked out into the dark night. Something rocked down the road and then soared up into the sky. Higher and higher it rose until it flew through the clouds. Soon all that was left behind was a trail of black smoke. Alfie closed his eyes. Surely they were decapiting him. Opening his eyes again, he saw the trail what was still there. This was no nightmare. This was real. Alfie had no option. He had to believe. So here's the picture, guys. Ooh, that's the end of that chapter. The next chapter is 27, A Case of the Willies. So, guys, that was fun telling you a story by David Williams. So, yeah. So, guys, make sure you subscribe to Lil_Poppy_J's channel. That would be very helpful. And, okay, and remember, give a massive shout out. I'll give a massive shout out to my mum, who's going through the hard time, and she's a key worker, like I said at the start. So, guys, bye.